those picks.
Yeah, I would do it just because of LeBron.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have LeBron, you've got to capitalize on the window. But Rob, I've said this a lot, and I'll say it again now. Rob has the advantage of seeing the whole board. We don't know what else is out there. Like, I didn't even know Rui Hachimura was a possibility, but I love that trade.
This isn't tiddlywinks.
Yeah, this isn't tiddlywinks.
Yeah.
Thank you, Anita. So, Rob may be working on something that we have no idea is coming, and I would argue that that's what Hachimura was.
Yeah.
You know, he became available, they jumped on it, and now all of a sudden we got a 6'8" wing who hits 41% of his catch-and-shoot threes. I mean, he just fit in seamlessly last night.
Yeah, he looked really good.
And Anthony Davis looked good, and Austin Reeves is coming back soon. And, you know, I noticed I really like Wenyen Gabriel. I think he's done a really good job this year. You know, he didn't get in last night. He played the final minute because they wanted to get AD out of the game. But, I mean, that's how deep they are now. Gabriel didn't get any minutes last night. Now, I don't think that'll be permanent. I think there'll be situations where they can use him. But I never shake my head when Gabriel's out there because he plays so hard.
Yeah,
I think he's really good. So I think now, all of a sudden, you have a roster where you can go 10 deep. And with adding Hachimura, and then you put Gabriel back into the mix.
All of a sudden you've got depth.
And you got Austin Reeves, and you got Lonnie Walker, and you got Westbrook, and you got Beverly, and, you know, Schroeder's been great.
Schroeder's been excellent.
You know,
Thomas Bryant's been excellent.
Yeah, so I think they're in a really good spot. Now, this road trip can be tricky. Like, could they lose to Boston? Sure. Boston is going to be playing at home, and they have the best record in the NBA. Then Brooklyn's been one of the hottest teams in the league.
Yeah.
Durant won't be there, though, so that's a game that the Lakers could
Durant's
win.
Definitely out.
The next night they play the Knicks. The Knicks have had some good wins this year. Then they go to Indiana. Indiana beat the Lakers here when they played earlier in the year. Then they go to New Orleans, who's the number 4 seed in the West. So what I don't want, I really want to have a winning road trip. Like, they go 3-2, I'll be happy. They go 2-3, I'll live with it. What I don't want is 1-4 or 0-5. I think that takes the train off the track. So let's go out and get a winning trip. If I got to settle for 2-3, I'll take it. No 1-4, no 0-5. We come back from that trip 2-3, 3-2, 4-1, or 5-0. I'm all over it. I think that's the key.
And I think the target's 3-2.
Yeah, be happy with it.
3-2 is a win.
Happy.
3-2 is a win.
Yeah.
All right. I wanted to get to one. This is about Jimmy Butler. So, Jimmy Butler. These fans flew in from Argentina, and apparently the kid is a huge Jimmy Butler fan. So they fly to Miami, and they're going to the Heat game, and Jimmy Butler is unfortunately hurt. So Jimmy Butler becomes aware of this and does a very, very cool thing. He gets with these people, gives them a bunch of swag, signs autographs, all that stuff. You know, for me, that's you know, unfortunately, sometimes you go to a game and you don't see your favorite player. Well, that's what happened here. But Jimmy Butler tried to make it right.
I love that he did it, but it again, Mace points out what I consider to be the number one issue for Adam Silver, the commissioner, to solve. And that's load management. Charles Barkley was on Sirius Radio this morning.
Yep. And
Barkley says that these players who are sitting out games and not playing, the way Charles put it, he said, they're taking full paychecks and not playing half the time. And he was like talking about guys like Kawhi. We now live in a world where the postseason is all that matters.
It's the only, this is you guys. You measure things only in rings.
So
how many rings do they have?
That has devalued the regular season to the point where it's almost a bait and switch. Particularly if you're a Clipper fan, you got a 50% chance of Kawhi playing if you've got tickets to the next game.
Right. But there is no solution. You can't make.
How about this?
Okay.
You immediately announce at the end of the season, no back-to-backs. We're eliminating all of them. Now, the Lakers had 11 or 12 this year, I think.
And you're stretching the season out now.
You eliminate the preseason. We don't need it. So you start beginning of October rather than the end. And you play October, November, December, January, February, March. and then into April, and you get the whole thing done by the end of June, and with 0 back-to-backs. And
but do you think that would change it? Or is Kawhi still going to say, and I don't think the Clippers, I think Kawhi is still going to say, yeah, you know what, that I'm not going to play that. I'm going to play this one, not that one.
But if you're an owner and the next CBA comes up, isn't this at the top of your list?
Although at the top of your list isn't, I want Kawhi to be right for the postseason. Whatever he needs to do during the regular season is fine as long as he's there for the postseason.
Right, but what I'm saying is I think they could suggest a minimum number of games played in order for you to get your full salary. And then guys would play. You have to play a minimum amount of games to get your full salary. I don't know what that number is. It can be negotiated, but I think you'd see a lot.
Aside from injury?
No, I think including injury. If you get hurt, that's, on you. You'll still be paid, but not as much as you would have been.
If somebody goes out and tears their ACL, you can't say we're not paying you. We're only paying you a portion of your salary. I mean, the guy was out there playing and tore his ACL.
Right.
So are you honestly going to pay him less? When Clay had his injuries, would you pay him less?
What I'm suggesting is you negotiate with the players' union and you say the biggest problem in our eyes as owners is that you guys take too many games off. So how can we address it? And the first thing the players are going to say is, get rid of the back-to-backs.
Right.
And the owners will say, okay, done. Now, what if Kawhi Leonard now only plays 40 games? I think there should be a maximum salary and a lesser salary. And if you get injured, you're still going to be paid a lot of money. You're not going to starve.
Right.
But instead of getting $30 million, you might get 20. And I think players then would play more.
Well, sure. In other words, if you're making it a money question, you're not getting paid the full value of your contract. By the way, I don't think the players' union would ever go for that.
Right. But
they have no reason to.
But the owners could lock them out. The owners could say,
this.
Well, why wouldn't you?
What would you a lockout is like nuclear winter. You don't want to lock out no matter what.
Yeah, but there was a lockout in 2011.
Yeah, but I mean it's painful. It's bad for fans.
I know.
You're talking about it being an entertainment product.
I know, but what is load management? Bad for fans. I'm saying, let's say they put the two of us in charge. Okay.
Yeah.
And they say, fix it.
Okay. Less games, no back-to-backs.
I don't think less games would be allowed.
If I'm the players' union, that's what I would ask for. If you want us to play a higher proportion of games, schedule less games.
Okay. But I don't even think the players would suggest it because the players get 50% of all revenue. So that would mean everybody gets paid less. Including me, I would think, by the way, because I'd be doing fewer games.
Oh, you'd be doing fewer games.
But I'm just saying that they have to address it. Maybe what I'm suggesting isn't the end-all, be-all. I'm just throwing out ideas, but they have to address load management. Listen to Barkley on Sirius this morning.
Sure. Look,
Barkley
Michael Thompson, the same thing.
Barkley thinks the owners he thinks they're going nuclear. He says the owners will never put up with this again. Wait till you see the next CBA. They are going to stick it to the players like they never have before. This is Barkley. You've got it? All right, play a little of it.
First of all, it's embarrassing for the NBA, and I cannot wait for these owners to put their foot in their asses in this next CBA. These dudes going to do something to these players. They're going to be like, wait a minute, you can't make $50 million and not play half the season, okay? Because now you just really just like slapping me in my face, taking my check twice a month. And we got guys like, and Eddie, I see guys that got a sore hip or something. I'm like, everybody's sore in the NBA after 20, 30, 40 games.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be very interesting in the next CBA because, the billionaires always wins against millionaires. And I think those owners are going to try to do something. I don't know what it is. I think there's going to be a strike or a lockout, however you want to phrase it. But I think they're going to say, okay, you guys don't want to play. I'm going to teach y'all a lesson because, we paid y'all during the pandemic. We didn't have nobody in the stands for a couple years, but we still paid y'all. And this is how y'all repay us, making all this money and not wanting to play. So, man, I think it's going to be very interesting in the next CBA. But, Eddie, to pick it back on your point, man, it's getting to the point where it's actually a joke now.
Well, I'll tell you what.
And that's not me talking. That's a Hall of Famer.
But a lockout or a strike is like the worst possible scenario.
Right. Well, that's why these players have got to figure out a way to solve load management. It's going to be the number one issue in the offseason.
And when's the contract up? When would we potentially have a lockout or a strike?
I don't know the answer to that. I'll look it up.
Yeah, I wonder where the CBA is. All right, coming up next for you is Game of Games. It is Bergman's game today. He whipped it together in about 5 minutes. So
it took me days.
We will find out how this game goes. Who's playing, Bergman?
Either Laura or Amanda, and the CBA runs through 23-24 season.
But if either side opts out, the CBA will expire on June 30th.
Of this year?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So, but one side would have to opt out.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like the owners might opt out.
Maybe.
Yeah. All right, Games is next. Mason and Ireland, 7.
Hey, Laker fans, John Ireland here. Have you downloaded the new ESPNLA app? You got to get this thing. It's great. You can get Travis and Sliwa, Mason and Ireland, Sedano and Cap, and all of our Lakers talk with Slee right in the palm of your hand.
You're just one tap away from everything Lakers. You could even win Lakers tickets.
React to the Lakers on ESPNLA app.
Download the new ESPNLA app in the App Store or on Google Play.
What's going on, everybody? It's Cap. I'm here at the 909 Sports Bar here inside Yamava Casino, the greatest sports bar in Southern California and probably the world. Over 170 LED monitors, monster screens, people and energy, a massive amount of beers, and I promise you this, the food is off the charts. And then over there, 7,000 slot machines and hundreds of table games in this world-class resort. Yo, I'll see you here on Championship Sunday. Let's all get together for both games here at the 909 at Yamava.
Come out to the 909 at Yamava for our next watch party on January 29th.
Game of Games presented by CallJacob.com.
Call Jacob.
Everyone loves a fighter, but in this town, winning matters, especially after an accident. So remember, anyone can fight, but CallJacob.com is here for you when you need a big win. After an accident, go to CallJacob.com or call 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB. We got the jingle.
Call Jacob.
Thank you. Game of Games time. Take it away, mate.
All right, I just realized it's double points now.
Yeah, yesterday started double points, right?
Yeah, are we
Okay.
giving that to Pepe, or are you taking that?
Well, I mean, you could argue scorekeeping at any point. I'll tell you what, somebody
I
else
don't
keeps
care.
score today.
I don't care.
Somebody else keeps score today.
Well, it's going to be easy. It's just name is your buzzer.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
going to
name
be
is your
super
buzzer.
easy.
Yeah, you'll be able to know that.
But I
yeah.
mean, let's have two people keep score every time, and then we'll keep that from happening. But I think I came back and got him. But I'll leave it up to you. Whatever you decide. I don't think I'm going to win this
They
one.
both get 2 points.
Yeah, give us both two.
Okay.
So what's that put Ireland at?
3.
Just split it 1 and 1.
3
2 points, 1 and 1. Okay.
Or we can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to do that?
1 and
Let's
1.
do that.
1 and 1. So you're at
Fair
2.
enough. Okay, and then
Pepe's at-
today's worth 2.
Yeah, today's
Okay.
worth 2.
All right, what do we got, Greg?
All right, you're going to name this movie from the line. From the movie quote, you have to name the movie.
Okay.
Okay?
Uh-oh.
Name is your buzzer.
Uh-oh. Yeah, name is your buzzer.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Number 1, Cinderella story.
Ireland.
Ireland.
Caddyshack.
I won't complain. But
Yeah.
I disagree with the -1.
Yes.
No -1. Very good, Jorge.
Yeah, very nice.
You should get that one.
Okay, number 3.
What?
You didn't know that one, Laura?
No, I'm just. Never mind. Go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, don't complain. You'll go -1.
No, I'm not complaining.
All right, number
Okay.
3.
I see dead.
Ireland.
Mason.
Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense is
All right,
right.
1 to 1 to 1.
Okay.
Laura, you awake over there?
Not really. No, not really.
All right.
No, not really.
Greg, how many of these are there?
I have a ton of them, so
Okay.
just tell me when
Okay.
to
All
stop.
right.
Number 4. Stella! Mason.
Streetcar Named Desire.
That's right.
Okay. Mason has the lead.
Number 5. It's alive.
Mason.
Jorge.
It was Mace.
That was Mason. Okay. I was going to say Ireland, but Mason.
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein is right.
Yeah, 3 to 1.
All right. Number 6. I'm going to make him
Ireland.
Ireland.
Say that again. Just not any more than you said.
2.
3, 2.
I said it.
Jorge.
Mason.
Jorge.
The Godfather.
Godfather's right. Jorge gets the point.
Yeah, I thought that's what you
Take him
said,
an
but I
offer,
didn't.
not
I'm
good.
going to
It
make
was
an
a
offer I
little
can't
mumbly, I
refuse.
got you.
Yeah, I got you.
Make
Okay.
him an offer
You,
you can't
you tried to do the voice. I thought you were against voices.
John.
Voice.
Here we go.
They call me Mr.
Ireland.
Ireland.
Guess who's coming to dinner?
No. I'll say it again.
Repeat it.
They call me Mr. Tibbs.
I think it is a Sidney Poitier movie.
It is Sidney Poitier. I got the wrong
Mr.
movie.
Tibbs.
It is Sidney
Smart.
Poitier. It is Sidney
Who is it?
Poitier.
What movie is it?
Anybody? Nobody?
No.
In the Heat of the Night.
In the heat.
Okay.
Of the night. I knew it was Sidney Poitier.
All right. Mason 3, Jorge 2, Ireland 1, and Laura
Laura's
That is
working
mine.
on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
All right, here we
still
go.
good, Laura. I'm walking here.
Mason.
Mason.
That is Rain Man.
No.
Jorge?
Oh, I was going to
Jorge.
say the same thing.
Oh, now I know what it is.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
These are some old school movies
some
you're
of them.
going with.
I'm walking.
I'm walking
if
here.
nobody gets-
I'm walking here.
Yeah, I know what it is.
I'll
now.
take a shot.
Yeah.
Taxi driver.
No.
Okay.
Anybody else? Laura, you have any
No.
guess?
No, it's
I know they say
Midnight
it in Back to
Cowboy.
the
It is
right?
Midnight Cowboy. That is
Okay.
exactly
Wow,
what
that
it
is old
It is.
school.
It is Al Pacino, and
Back to
he
the
hits
Future,
the car when he's trying
Dustin
to.
Hoffman.
Marty McFly.
Yeah, you know, Al Pacino, Dustin Hoffman, same guy.
Is Dustin Hoffman?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Dustin Hoffman.
Oh, yeah, that's what I mean. All right, that's what I said. So, number 9. I want the truth.
Ireland.
Ireland.
A Few Good Men.
Few Good Men is the right answer.
All
We
right.
can't handle the truth.
Hey,
Hey, Laura. I'm giving Laura a half.
Give Laura half a point. for that.
All right, number
Google.
number 10. I'll have what she's having.
Mason.
Ireland.
Mason.
That is When Harry Met Sally.
That is one.
Son of a.
Son of a Sally.
All right, number 11. I have 13 in the tiebreaker.
Okay.
Number 11. Carpe Diem.
Mason.
He
got me.
Okay, Mason.
Dead Poet Society.
Dead Poet Society.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, I might not be able to catch him now.
Here's.
Ireland.
Oh, man.
I'm going to go Ireland.
Shining.
The Shining is right.
All right, how many are
And
left?
This is the last one in the
Last
tiebreaker.
one.
Mason's got it then.
Yeah. he
Because
does.
I have 3 and you have 5.
I got half a point. I'm okay
And
with
Laura
that.
has a half.
That's half a point.
I have you on the score, Laura, with a half.
All right, so this last one is of all the gin joints
Mason.
and all the Mason.
That is Casablanca.
That is Casablanca.
All right,
And the
yeah,
tiebreaker-
Mason, you deserved it. You won.
Okay.
You,
I got
and
the
you
old
get 2
school
for that.
ones.
So how many does he
Nice.
have now?
He has 4.
Okay, I gotta. Find,
Am I not winning the month?
You are winning the
all right, in that case, I gotta find a way to get to the arena early on Monday and Tuesday so I can
I want to
play.
give you the tiebreaker because I want to know if any
Okay.
of you can get it.
Okay.
Sometimes when you win, you really lose. And sometimes when you lose, you really win. And sometimes when you win or lose, you actually tie. And sometimes when you tie, you actually win
Ireland.
or lose. Ireland.
Is it Stripes?
No.
Jorge.
Jorge.
Rudy.
No. No.
I don't know it.
You don't know it? Do you know it, Laura?
Mason,
I feel
dodgeball.
like
Mason,
I
no.
should.
I think Amanda knows it. She was shaking her head. No, were you? No, you don't?
No.
Do you know it, Sedano?
He wasn't
You
listening.
hear it?
not
Sometimes when you win, you really lose, and sometimes when you lose, you really win, and sometimes when you win or lose, you actually tie, and sometimes when you tie, you actually win or lose. Is that Talladega Nights? No, it's White Man Can't Jump.
White Man
Can't Jump. Rosie
trying-
Perez.
I'm trying to remember that. Oh, it's Rosie Perez.
Rosie Perez.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to remember what is
can't-
she doing in that scene?
What?
What is she?
She's talking about. She's leaving Woody at the end. Towards the
They're
end of the
breaking
movie.
up?
Yeah, they're breaking up.
Okay.
and so
You know they're redoing that movie. I wish they
I
wouldn't.
hope they don't.
So for that game, you went back to, let's see, like 19...
I got the 50s in there.
1941, I think, was Casablanca.
I think I got 1954 in there somewhere.
1970 was Midnight Cowboy.
Hey, but they're famous lines.
In the Heat of the Night was 68.
Yeah.
You're going back.
I wasn't even born.
But those were famous lines.
Yes, they are famous lines.
You know, Laura, you're allowed to go back and watch things that were made before
That
you
is
were
true.
born. You're aware
You
of
know.
that, right?
And I actually really like some of those movies, but you know.
There you go. All right. Hey, Jorge, paint the Superstager.
ESPN AM 710 Los Angeles. KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
K256CX 99.1 FM Pasadena, Los Angeles.
It's the greatest segment in LA sports radio history.
Oh my God. When the shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk.
Are we ready for Sedano and Cap to join Mason and Ireland?
Super Crosstalk begins.
Super Crosstalk, presented by Coors Light. Coors Light, made to chill.
It's time for Super Crosstalk.
And it is time for Super Crosstalk, and I always start that by announcing the sponsor for the previous segment, which is Jacob Amrani. Brings you Game of Games. Winning matters. That's why after an accident, you go to calljacob.com or call 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB. George Sedano in the house today. Cappy on the road. What's up, guys?
You see Jacob and Ronnie's dance moves a couple nights ago?
Yeah, he was on the Jumbotron.
I hear he's on the Jumbotron. I was not there for that.
He had his Holmish Bucha in the house, and they showed him, and it got to a point where he was on so long, I think Jacob was like, I guess I better dance. And he started shaking it. Shake, shake, shake it. Shake, 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 shake it, Jacob. Yeah, and he did.
Nice.
Freaking rocked it.
Nice.
By the way, John, you're nuts. You were right on this thing that you guys were talking about earlier. What? That they would. There's no way in hell that the players' union would allow a reduction of salary based on games played.
All right. Solve it. I put you in charge of
I don't have an answer to it, but
that's what I'm saying.
But that's against like the law in certain states.
Wait a minute. It is, but I'm saying
I could get docked some pay for vacation time.
Yeah, it is the number one problem that Adam Silver has to solve.
But how do you determine real injury from not real injury?
And the answer you just gave is the number one answer. I can't solve
it. When LeBron says, I have an ankle, don't you say, okay, LeBron has an ankle?
This reminds me of something that Herm Edwards said his dad taught him. He said, I steal this quote all the time. He says, it's not your fault, but it's your problem.
An injury is your problem?
No. What I'm saying is load management. It's nobody's fault, but it's everybody's problem. And I'm telling you, what Charles Barkley said, what we played, is how everybody in the NBA feels about load management. They say if they don't do something, it's going to be much worse. They have to address it.
If they don't do what load management is going to be, there's going to be more load management?
No, it's going to cause a lockout. Like exactly what Barkley said. What Barkley is right. You got it? Okay, so
I heard it. We played it.
Here's Richard Jefferson today on NBA Today talking about the exact same thing.
Sat there, and I was fortunate to come in 2001. And when I tell you that there was one trainer, there wasn't a traveling masseuse, there wasn't game readies, there weren't all of the amenities. You didn't have cold tubs, you didn't have hot tubs, you didn't have all of the amenities. And the only thing that has led, we have now teams that are paying millions of dollars to sports science. And they're like, oh, the game of basketball is tough. Let me tell you why. And for all the people that want to go through and look at numbers, you can look at how many games I played over the course of my career and what my numbers were. Let me tell you about why it was important to me, because that's all I'm going to say. My parents, I didn't come from very much. And for Christmas, my parents got me a ticket to go watch the San Antonio Spurs because David Robinson was my favorite player. One ticket. My dad, who worked security and scrubbed floors and did all this stuff, he dropped me off at the game, gave me $5, and I went in there by myself because my family couldn't afford to come to the game. So they knew that I loved basketball. And I was the youngest of 3 boys, but that was my thing. So they paid one ticket, and I sat in there. My dad went to a bar and watched the game and then came back and picked me up when the game was over. So it's like every day that I stepped on the floor, I remember my father. Yeah. I remember having one ticket and being there, and all the families and all the people that were probably just like me. If David Robinson wouldn't have played in that game, Like, I get emotional thinking about it because I got to stand next to him in Game 6 of the NBA Finals when he was about to go off into the sunset and tell him that he was my favorite player growing up. So I take that responsibility and say, wait, we can't just gloss over this. And I blame the teams. I blame the training staffs because the players in this generation are doing more of what they are told than going out there and leaving it all out on the floor.
Now, the solution is not, hey, Anthony Davis, you only played 40 games this year, so you're only going to get 40% of your salary or whatever that is.
What is the solution?
I don't think there is one. I'll be honest. I don't think there is a solution. I think.
But like Richard Jeffress said, you can't just gloss over it, which is what you and George both just did.
I just don't think there's a way to fix it.
You just said, I don't have a solution.
Well, but you don't have a solution either. Your
solution
is illegal.
There's no way in the world
so then
somebody's
we
back
move
money.
past it. But this is what both of you just said, and this is what happens. Exactly what just happened is happening in the NBA. There is no solution.
There isn't.
If that's the answer.
Here's a solution. Then get the NBA has to assign a team doctor to every team, and the doctor on the team and the NBA
whether there's an injury or not.
Right. That's a solution.
That would
That's
help.
better than cutting people's salary. It's,
Well,
it's the most
okay.
un-American thing I've ever heard of.
so-
John, are you communist? What
Right.
the hell?
So move past that. But we can't do what you did and say, I don't have an answer.
But it's better to do what you did and do something illegal?
No, it's just like inventing anything new. You throw everything out there and keep working on it.
So that's not it. What's the solution?
I think what Barkley said is the most accurate thing, that if they do nothing, a lockout's coming because the owners are furious. If you think that even Steve Ballmer, if you got him on True Serum, is okay with Kawhi playing half the games and telling them when he's going to play. He doesn't even go through the trainer.
Okay, so
he
we
just
talk
tells
about
them.
Kawhi a lot. Kawhi's in his own
Paul George has
class.
played about the same amount of games as Kawhi this year.
Okay, the Clippers are in their own class.
Okay.
Who's really load man? I mean, LeBron obviously
The Warriors
takes some games,
the Warriors three
second nights
times
of
this
back-to-back.
year. 3 times this year have benched everybody. Everybody. That's Steph, Clay,
3 games
Draymond,
out of 50, though? That's
including both games in New Orleans.
Okay, but there used to be a rule. I don't know why it's there probably still is a rule, but it's just not being policed. But the rule was because after what the Spurs did in Miami on a TNT game, where Pop sent
They
everybody
fined
back
them
on a Southwest Airlines flight, then that all of a sudden you had to make sure that the person really had an injury. Like, why can't we just get back to that?
That would help. Cap, what would you do?
Well, I don't understand also. I think that you should have a doctor say that we think this person's good enough to play, or we don't think this person's good enough to play. And I don't think a player should lose any money if they can't physically go. But on the other hand, if they choose, this is the choice. Hey, I don't want to play tonight. My body is bothering me, or it's back-to-backs. Or if you choose not to play and that's a choice rather than like he physically can't go, then I don't see any reason with why the players wouldn't say, okay, fine, then I'm taking a night off. I'm not getting paid for that game.
No, but you have personal days at your job. I mean, Jesus, what are we talking about here? There are labor laws that would be broken in that scenario.
Well, I don't know anything about labor law, so I'm going to have to get a labor lawyer, and I'm going to have to kind of go through some of the
Well, you work in L.A. You're part of a union. You better get caught up to speed.
Here's an example. 5 years ago, 17 players in the league played 82 games.
Right.
Last year, no one played more than 77. Not one person. So,
well, no, that's impossible because Mikal Bridges has the longest streak in.
And didn't DeMar DeRozan just do something?
No, but I think Mikal Bridges, he's something happened with him that.
No, he's played nearly 300 games in a row.
Let me look it up.
But just the bottom line is that if you told a player, your choice is you can take the night off. It's your choice. But on nights that you're choosing to take off, you don't get paid. If you ever pose that to a player, the players would get dressed and say,
it's a non-starter.
What do I have to do?
It's a non-starter.
Well, I'm not saying it is a starter. I'm just saying that
I'm just
the
saying
question
then
is,
you're not going to have a league.
Okay, well, but the question that John has posed to everybody is this. What is the solution? And I'm hearing 4 people say, I don't know.
Well, I didn't tell you how to know.
So I had it backwards.
I just told you.
5 players played in 82.
I just told you. Have the league have their own doctor or 3 doctors to make it even, right? So there's a majority, right? An independent doctor, a league doctor, and a team doctor.
And if they say you can't go, you don't lose money.
No, you don't lose money.
Okay, but what if
the team gets docked.
But would that?
But the team gets docked.
But
the
so
team
what
can get docked. The league can do that to the team.
So second night of a back-to-back, star players.
I think
sometimes there are scheduled losses.
I think they got to get rid of the back-to-backs. I think that's the owner's concession is to say, okay.
When do you start the season then?
October 1st, and you get the preseason's gone. We don't need it.
Okay, I'm with you on that. I don't think they need a preseason.
So you start instead of October 15th, you start October 1st, and then you stretch it all the way to the end of June. So you're going October 1.
They don't want to go further than they are already in June.
Right.
Though,
well, because right now the last possible end date is June 24th.
Right.
I think. Okay.
Yeah.
So
But they don't want to be past when kids are out of school because they noticed that when they've done that the last couple of years, the ratings drop tremendously when it comes to the NBA Finals.
Goes on vacation.
Here's an idea. Now, this just came in on Twitter. Dustin Bingham, he may be onto something. What about performance bonuses? What about bonuses for playing X number of games so that guys try to get out there to hit that bonus?
I don't know.
See, that's a smart idea, though, because instead of taking
money
from
away,
them,
you're actually
right,
giving
You're saying,
them
hey,
money.
we'll give you more if you play more.
What about that, Ireland?
I like
performance bonuses.
I think anything that works. I think anything that
they make so much money.
It's
hard.
it's not perfect.
Well, you
but,
give them an extra $20, they play every game.
You wouldn't even get out of bed for $20. Who are you fooling?
All right, $50.
All right, but George, we were talking about something earlier that I think is true.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, the regular season is now tremendously undervalued. We judge players' greatness by how they perform in the postseason.
Just rings. It's all rings.
So what if we placed more value on regular season games? In other words,
I would say, listen, I know you've always said it's a non-starter, and I get it. I think the league should go to 66 games the year they have the lockout shortened season. 66. The problem with that was
by the way, you're making the same argument Steve Kerr is making.
Right.
He wants to do what you're talking about.
Yeah, but the problem that year, obviously, because everything was truncated, they did 66 in 123 nights, which was insane.
Yeah.
But if you do 66 games, and I know people will say the records, blah, blah, blah,
but
whatever.
What about, I don't care about the records.
I don't
What
either.
about the size of the pie? Doesn't the size of the pie get smaller?
Don't
players get a percentage of the
I
pie?
actually think you'll get scarcity creates opportunity. In my opinion, I think the TV companies would pay more for scarcity. You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
And you're in an era where you're about to have two streamers probably come in and try to get rights
Fewer
too.
games, pay more for rights.
Without disagreeing with all of those points, George, that you just made, which I thought were good. Every time I bring this up with people that work high up in the Lakers, they say the minute you mention fewer games, we just stop listening.
But Adam has mentioned it.
Yeah, but they just...
Why don't they want the solution?
Owners,
because the owners don't want to give up the money.
The owners will never vote for fewer games.
Right. That's 16 games or however many games
but
it is
that
they're not in the arenas.
If you really
That's
care
the
about
best.
I'm just telling you
what
what
give up games.
I don't disagree with you.
That is the best solution, actually.
I don't disagree with either one of you. I'm just telling you that when I've brought this up to high-ranking people at the Lakers, they just shake their head and go, non-starter on fewer games.
You guys say it's a great solution, but
Steve
it's a solution
Kerr
for the
is arguing
players.
openly to go to 65 games.
And for the fans, because you're actually going to the less games you have, the reason the NFL, well, many reasons the NFL is the best.
There's only 17 of them a year.
Correct. And the violence and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And the gambling. But the scarcity helps tremendously.
Yeah.
The less games you have, that's what makes, when there's a short amount of opportunity or a short window for you to watch games, it's why people watch. Nobody watches college basketball outside of a handful of games.
We were just talking about that.
But in the NCAA tournament, everybody's getting their vasectomies done to sit there with ice packs on their you-know-whats to watch the damn game.
Yeah,
How about this?
Do that once,
Jose, one of our listeners, I'm not sure this would work, and I don't think the NBA would ever even consider it, but I'll throw it out there since we're throwing out everything. Yeah. Fans can get a refund, no questions asked, when a star player sits out.
Oh, how about that?
That's a non-starter.
The owners aren't going to go for that.
That doesn't work in any sport. I mean, I don't see if Bryce Perkins starts at quarterback instead of Matthew Stafford, I'm not going to get my money back.
Right.
How
about free tacos? Just like when you hold somebody under 110 points.
By the way, Freddie Freeman's not in the lineup when I go to Dodger Stadium, it doesn't mean I get my money back.
I had a cool moment last night that you guys are all a part of. I'm walking out of the arena, and I'm going down the stairs to get my car and leave. And Bryce Young, the Alabama quarterback, is walking by me, and he stops me, and he goes, "Hey, John, I've always wanted to meet you." I go, "Are you kidding?"
Wow.
He goes, "I listen to you guys all the time." He goes,
I
listened to your station growing up the whole time.
Wow.
And he goes, and still do. And he was like, could not have been nicer.
Well, I hope he goes before C.J. Stroud.
Yeah, could not have been nicer.
His his trainer is Danny Hernandez, the big quarterback trainer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
he's got that guy.
Yeah,
yeah.
He since he was in 8th grade.
Yeah,
that's really cool, John. That's right on, man.
Yeah, he's a big fan.
Now I want to ask
station.
you something, Cap. You said
Yes.
you were at the game the other night and you cornered Patrick Beverly. What exactly does that mean?
No, I didn't corner Patrick Beverly. I had him in the backstage area, and he was kind of standing there hanging out, and I was kind of keeping my eye on him, making sure he wasn't going to go anywhere. And I was trying to get Sedano to come back there because Sedano said he was going to straighten him out.
So why didn't you step in? Were you actually having a conversation with
No.
Patrick Beverly?
No. I just had my
you were
eye
just
on him.
standing near him.
Right, had my eye on him.
And you expected George to come over.
Yeah, and straighten him out.
And straighten him out. Now,
Right.
George, why didn't you go over and straighten Beverly out?
Because I didn't see his text until he came back to me on the court.
Okay, they just announced the final vote.
Wait, real quick, just
Yeah.
to we got a tweet about this stuff we were
Okay,
talking
good.
about from Principal Pre. He says, Sedano, can you cite the quote labor laws you're talking about? Please, there are many industries in which employees are not paid for days they do not work. I simply responded to him, are you part of a union?
Yeah,
if not,
it's a union.
Go Google that.
Yeah.
Since that's a part of the answers on this show, go Google it.
Yeah, but the problem is
That's
the
what we
union.
said.
The union can support you, but remember, the owners always have the nuclear option, which is to lock everybody out, and they can do it at the end of this season. They have till February 8th. Both the players and the owners, either side opts out, and there's no labor deal after this season. Now, if they both opt in, they don't even have to opt in. If they both don't opt out,
then
it just continues through the 23-24 season.
All right,
okay.
so the All-Star voting is final, yeah.
All right, you want to guess, or did you already look?
I
already saw it.
Twitter,
Yeah.
Okay, so it's LeBron, Curry, Luka, Jokic, and Zion past AD. But I don't think Zion, George, will be able to play.
He might. He might.
Yeah. Now, did they do the East yet?
Not yet. They haven't announced it yet. Can we get to... Well, TNT's behind Mason right now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Jason Tatum's in.
They're always right behind me.
Yeah.
But
Hold on.
They're announcing the East.
Yeah, Shaq is talking. Why don't we just put it up?
We're carrying it live.
Can we just put it up?
Hey, Laura.
Can we just put up TNT?
Put up the TV. They're announcing the
Giannis is the captain.
Giannis.
Obviously.
Yeah, it's going to take. Except the problem with taking it is they drag it out. They'll take 20 minutes to announce 5
By
people.
the way, now they're picking the teams live.
Yeah. I know that.
On game day.
Yeah.
Which I think is unbelievably
Well,
cool.
originally, it's funny because I talked to somebody in the league a couple months ago about it, and I said, are you going to do it on the night of the game? They're like, no, that could get a little dicey or whatever. And I'm like, when are you going to do it? They're like, the day before at All-Star Saturday. I'm like, what's the difference at that point?
Yeah.
Like, who cares? Just do it the day of the game.
Yeah,
and
day
I
of the
think
game
they
is
are
cool.
now, right?
Yeah, day of the game.
And so the poor equipment guys have to have uniforms for both guys, for each player on either team.
Yeah.
Just in case they go to one team or the other.
Yeah.
You think they're going to put them out on the court and stand in there? So
Oh, I would love for that.
One guy.
when
left.
Rudy Gobert is the last guy,
Exactly.
basically. Yeah.
Who's the last?
Rudy Gobert
pick
is
in
always
the
going to be the
draft?
last guy.
Yeah.
If he's on the All-Star team, he's going to be the last guy. He's going
All
to
right.
stand there awkwardly.
Well, stay tuned because there will be the Eastern Conference finalists or All-Stars.
It's Kevin Durant, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Jason Tatum. That's the 3 we have so
Okay,
far.
3 so far.
We're just waiting for the guards.
Stay
now,
tuned for the other 2.
Yeah.
Amanda Brown, Boss Amanda,
Is gonna
producing
Yeah, she's producing
Sedano
the
and
show.
Cappy.
Yeah, Lindsay's out. She's going to produce. Cappy's going to be in trouble a lot, I figure.
Boss Amanda's tough. She produced our show for a long time. She's
And
tough.
we're also going to
curious
get
how this
into,
goes.
which Boss Amanda knows, why Cappy is really hella sus recently.
Oh, really?
Well, we'll actually get
Yeah.
back to her opinion because it's usually just 3 against 1. Mace, you can appreciate that,
Yeah.
but I'll look for Boss Amanda's opinion on all of this.
Okay, good. Well,
Yeah.
the show's going to be bussin'. We're looking forward to it. I'm going to get in my car, listen to it on the way home.
Yeah.
I
Did you
love
say bussin'?
Yeah, bussin'.
Oh, really? Is that a new word you're using now?
Yeah, bussin'. Show's bussin'.
Okay.
What do you mean?
Not busting.
He's just jealous he didn't think of using
No,
that
I've
word
already
first.
used bussin'. I've already worn
Yeah,
it
but
out.
I brought it back.
Oh, Jesus.
I brought back bussin'.
Which one of you two wants to act like half your age more? Like, which one of you wants to do that more?
That
Not
could
me.
go on for years.
Not me.
Yeah.
Not
You're a
me.
real one, Mace. You are a real one.
Yeah. All right. Coming up next for you, Sedano and Cappy. Back tomorrow at 1. Momo's here tomorrow. Mason, Ireland, 710 ESPN.
John Ireland is not a communist.